MAGA Republicans are just plain weird. Matt Gaetz, J.D. Vance, Lauren Boebert, and of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are just weird people with strange ideas, and their weirdness is finally getting called out by the mainstream media, so much so that even Fox News is starting to talk about how weird MAGA Republicans are. Yes, the Fox propaganda outlet is playing clips of Democrats talking about how weird MAGA is. And before we get to Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of her strangeness, I wanted us to check out that clip.
Well, it's just plain weird. I mean, that's the box you put that in, right?
It's not just a weird style that he brings. It's that this leads to weird policies.
That is weird behavior. More extreme, more weird, more erratic. I mean, on the other side, they're just weird.
The 32 ounces of weird.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate.
And by the way, they are weird.
It is bizarre. It's weird. It is weird.
J.D. Vance, just dumb Vance, is pretty weird.
I love that this is a new messaging framework for the Democratic Party. Of course, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they are scary, they are dangerous. What they want to do to our democracy would be destructive. But they're also just weird people who are beatable. They are beatable. They are not good politicians. They have bad policies, and we don't like them. And that's why there is this movement in Democratic messaging to just call them weird. And of course, it's not just their policies that are weird. The constant praise of Trump, pretending like he's a god essentially to them, is incredibly strange. We always talk about the MAGA mindset on this show, and the person who that MAGA mindset is most apparent with is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who does lots of weird things and says even more strange things. But there is a resurfaced clip right now as Democrats online are talking about how weird Republicans are of Marjorie Taylor Greene, showing just how much she loves Donald Trump. And it's really just frankly disturbing. And we have to check it out because, again, it just shows how weird MAGA is.
Stayed up in there in the mucky swamp. Diane always has them in the mucky swamp. Yeah.
So that was Marjorie Taylor Greene grabbing at Donald Trump's bits, his lower region, and I think she called it his mucky swamp. Oh, I don't even want to think about all of that, but it just shows how obviously MAGA is a cult, but they are literally in love with their cult leader. That's a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is feeling it up because she likes him so much. Like, I'm a big fan of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but I don't have cardboard cutouts with them that I snuggle at night because this isn't a cult. Sure, we love and respect our leaders for the hard-fought rights that they help us win. We support them in every way they can when they are supporting us, but this is not a cult in the Democratic Party. You can see that because we have changed our nominee. President Biden thought it was best that his vice president, Kamala Harris, be the Democratic Party's nominee, and we coalesce behind her because this is not a cult of personality around Joe Biden like it is in the Republican Party with Donald Trump. We actually care about policy first, and the policy that we put first isn't strange, unlike the Republicans. And the person whose policies seem to be strangest, and there's lots of strange and, like we've said all this video, weird comments resurfacing from, is Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, who has drawn a lot of criticism, and for a good reason, for calling Kamala Harris and leaders of the Democratic Party childless cat ladies. And he went on Fox News after these clips started resurfacing, and Trey Gowdy, one of the Fox hosts, actually had a pretty combative interview with him, a pretty hostile interview when talking about these comments, and I want us to check it out.
Because people are calling me who very much would like to support you and President Trump. Dr. Connie Rice does not have children. Neither does my friend, your colleague, Tim Scott. George Washington did not have biological children, and neither did James Madison. So I think you will agree with me that direct offspring are not necessary to be fully invested in the future of this country.
Of course not, Trey. I do think that being a parent actually has a profound effect on somebody's perspective, and we should honor and respect that. But there are a whole host of people who don't have children for a whole host of reasons, and they certainly are great people who can participate fully in the life of this country. And that's not what I said, Trey. If you look at what the left has done, they have radically taken this out of context.
The MAGA movement is obviously a movement of hypocrisy, and we talk about this on the show all the time. They claim to care about freedom, but they don't want women to have freedom over their reproductive rights, or they don't want people across America to equally enjoy the freedom to cast their ballot. But another point of contention, another point of hypocrisy in the MAGA movement that we see is when they call themselves the party of family values. And there's two clear ways that they are hypocritical in that. One is because the leader of their party, their nominee for president, had an affair with a porn star while his wife was pregnant. I don't know what's family values about that. But also, Republicans like J.D. Vance want to criticize and critique any family that they don't see as conventional in the way that they want it to be. And so we see Republicans like J.D. Vance, like Donald Trump, being called out for these weird policies and these horrible comments. And I'm so glad that they finally are, because they're just disgraceful and wrong, and again, hypocritical. And Trump was asked about these comments that J.D. Vance made in an interview with Fox News' Laura Ingraham, and he really didn't know what to say because it's impossible to defend them. Let's check that out.
Knee-jerk, conservative, et cetera, et cetera. But some of it's coming from Republicans who I think want to go back to the days of open borders and perpetual war. How do you expect to use him in this campaign, and what can you say to our viewers tonight to reassure them that this was an excellent pick?
Well, first of all, he's got tremendous support. And he really does among a certain group of people that like families. I mean, he made a statement having to do with families. That doesn't mean that people that aren't a member of a big and beautiful family with 400 children around and everything else, it doesn't mean that a person he's not against anything, but he loves family. It's very important to him. He grew up in a very interesting family situation, and he feels family is good. And I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that.
It seemed like Trump was forgetting the word family in that interview. He was like, JD, he loves the people. He loves the children. Clearly not true. I do want to bring up this. The party of family values that MAGA claims to be, in the Senate, they are currently holding up a child tax credit. So what's family values about that? What is supporting kids about that? That's off topic, but I just wanted to bring it up. But clearly Donald Trump doesn't have any defense for J.D. Vance's strange comments. I'm sure Donald Trump, of course, endorses them because he will endorse every terrible attack or policy he possibly can. That's kind of his whole shtick. But I would like to play a clip of someone who I think does a perfect job responding to J.D. Vance. Of course, Donald Trump didn't, but this person did. So I want to check that out.
I just don't know what kind of guy goes around commenting on other people's families and family structures. When he said that, we were in the middle of an adoption journey, which has since led to us having this incredible change in our lives of raising a son and a daughter, these beautiful twins. When he said that hadn't happened yet, but we'd already been through some tough reversals in that adoption journey. And, I don't know. I just don't know why you would bring that into it. If we have a policy disagreement, let's talk about the policy disagreement. But going after people's kids or attacking people for how their family is set up, this is a country where I would like to think that, and never mind campaigns and politics, I'm just saying as people and as policymakers who sometimes disagree, we can all lay off each other's families.
Pete Buttigieg there, such an incredible messenger for the Democratic Party, as always. And I love playing that clip because I think it is such an important message that Pete is articulating there, as he always does. But it's really reflected in polling lately how unpopular J.D. Vance and his positions are. J.D. Vance is historically unpopular, the least popular running mate in modern political history, because of these strange and weird comments that he's made. And it's really just more reflective of the dislike for MAGA. And why Donald Trump is plummeting in polls right now, well, Kamala Harris is surging. And that contrast that has allowed her to surge couldn't be more clear than in this clip from the Lincoln Project.
But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, its willpower.
Do we want to live in a country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law? Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate? And here's the beauty of this moment. We each have the power to answer that question. We are not going back. Not going back. We're not going back. We are not going back.
absolutely a clear distinction between the two. Kamala Harris focused on the future. Donald Trump focused on the past and revenge and anger and retribution. And that's what we are voting on in November, which way forward we want to take. And I know which way I'm going. And I think I know which way you are going, viewer, as well. And I think that is forward with Kamala Harris. And if you are and you want to be a part of a movement that is pushing back against MAGA and supporting Kamala Harris, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Join what we are building here on this channel. We are about to pass 100,000 subscribers, and I think we can do it before the end of the month if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, make sure to leave a like on this video by hitting that thumbs up. It really goes a long way in supporting what we are doing on this channel and would mean the world to me. And I just launched a new exclusive members-only community. And so if you want to join that, there will be extra videos there exclusively for members and a couple other perks and benefits. If you want to join that community, go ahead and hit the join button. It really helps support this new and growing channel. And until next time, I'll see you soon.